Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday class. Let's have a quick recap of the last class. Um, Last time we read Murli from 2nd October 1981. And in one line, the essence was loneliness versus solitude, a perspective shift. So Baba said, you have been blessed with tattvam in your dharma and karma. Be the ones you have always been. So everything becomes a decoration for one who is conscious or in an upward spiral. You will not have to labor or imbibe virtues and power. That is, we wouldn't have to make extra effort if we are conscious. If one is swinging in the actual swing of happiness, it is equivalent to the Father. You cannot separate yourself from the Father, although some small children get stuck in jhamelas. That was a word Baba used. Experience the reward of getting complete. If we are stuck with the part at many levels, we will experience incompleteness. Solitude is having highest company, and Baba is here to offer the experience of truth, that is high quality experience. We have to be in combined form, which means soul is experiencing the highest company. Maya reaches immature things and not mature things. When there is no attachment to anything, the soul is connected to the Supreme. So, this was a small snapshot of the last class. Now, before we proceed with the class, I would like to invite everyone who all want to share something. If you experienced something in the past 2 weeks, we didn't have a class last Friday. You want to share something, if maybe anybody of us could benefit from your experience. So yeah, so before we invite sister, if we can share what we experienced, it'll be really good.
अ, कोई भी ड्रामा का सीन देखते हुए अगर एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं आ रही, चाहे पूरी या कुछ परसेंटेज में, और कुछ चेंज, मॉडिफिकेशन या रिजेक्शन मन में आ रहा है, तो इट मीन्स कि स्टोरी के अंदर हूँ, या कहें मैं स्टोरी का कैरेक्टर ही साक्षी बनने की स्ट्रगल में हूँ। जब हर सीन के प्रति कोई चेंज, ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है, इच्छा नहीं कुछ ऐसा हो या वैसा हो, तो स्टोरी से बाहर हैं, ऐसे साक्षी की सीट पर हैं। यहाँ से लाइटनेस फील होती और हर सीन एंटरटेनमेंट है, क्योंकि यहाँ से दिख रहा है कि कोई अपने से नहीं कर रहा, सिर्फ स्क्रिप्ट अनुसार रिकॉर्डेड फिक्स पार्ट, बनी बनाई स्क्रिप्ट के आधार से ही प्ले हो रहा है। इसमें कोई की समझ से अब नहीं पार्ट प्ले हो रहा है, फिक्स जो था वो प्ले हो रहा है। तो कुछ कमी लगी तो एक रिमाइंडर डाला था कि कुछ कमी लगे तो रिमाइंडर है कि ये सब एक्स्ट्रा है, सोल इज ऑलरेडी फुल एंड सिक्योर्ड एंड कंप्लीट, और ड्रामा से कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए। बस यही था सिस्टर, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Anyone else who?
What I understood of the difference between respect and regard.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
this is a new understanding which I was hearing about respect and regard from so long in many murlis, but only lately I understood the actual meaning of what respect is and what regard is. What I understand is that the moment the truth sinks in, maturity arises, and from that experience, we have respect for all the souls around us, and regard is in relation with drama. When I consider everybody, even though they are number wise, but I still have acceptance to their role. and that is what is called as regard. This perfect balance of something which does not change. That is my experience with the Supreme Soul, and with something which is subject to change. That is my acceptance to whatever is happening in drama. That that amalgamation, that is what is respect versus regard. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much.
We had taken homework in the beginning of this month that we need to take 3 practices or 3 seeds we want to nourish whole month. So I just want to share my practices which I have taken. First practice is soul consciousness, seeing myself as a soul and whoever I meet at least 5 times a day. I'm practicing this. And second is going to Paramdham 10 times a day. And the third thing is seeing everything as watching everything as a film, like we are practicing. Everybody is doing that, but I have taken it for myself at least 5-10 minutes a day, so that it will increase later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
मैं रीटा गुलाटी बोल रही हूँ।
जी।
हाँ जी, जो मुझे समझ आया है कि सारे ज्ञान का सार हम सिर्फ एक वर्ड से समझ सकते हैं, एक्सेप्टेंस। बाहर भी जो कुछ चल रहा है उसके लिए भी मन में कुछ ना चले कि ये अच्छा है, ये बुरा है, ये होना चाहिए, ये नहीं होना चाहिए। और अंदर भी मन में जो थॉट आ रहे हैं, जो फीलिंग है, उसके लिए भी टोटल एक्सेप्टेंस। किसी भी चीज़ के लिए कोई क्वेश्चन ना उठे, अब इसको कैसे देखना है ये सबका पर्सनल होगा, कि ड्रामा का ज्ञान लगाना है, अपने आप को गेस्ट समझना है, इस दुनिया को मूवी की तरह देखना है। तो ये हम छोटे छोटे सीन्स में अपने आप को चेक कर सकते हैं कि एक्सेप्टेंस मोड पे हैं या कोई रिएक्शन आ रहा है। मतलब टोटल एक्सेप्टेंस, नो रिएक्शन। तो मैं ये जानना चाहूँगी, क्या मैं सही हूँ? हाँ जी, आवाज़ नहीं आ रही।
Total acceptance, yeah, that is a very good thing to begin with. Yes.
कि जैसे ये लग रहा है कि इसके अलावा और कुछ करने के लिए है ही नहीं। अगर एक्सेप्टेंस मोड पे हैं हम हर वक्त, तो हम डिटैच हैं ही हैं।
ओके, आपको अगर वो हेल्प कर रहा है तो जरूर हम सिस्टर से भी पूछ सकते हैं इसके बारे में व्हेन शी जॉइंस।
हाँ जी,
बट
थैंक यू।
एक्सेप्टेंस इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग, और अगर वो आ रहा है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है और बहुत बड़ी बात है।
बस यही चेकिंग चल रही है कि
जी
कब आया, कब कब एक्सेप्टेंस आया, कब रिएक्शन आया, और रिएक्शन
जी।
आया तो उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं, और ताकि
हम्म,
नेक्स्ट जब सीन वो वैसा सीन रिपीट हो तो वो रिएक्शन भी ना आए।
जरूर।
थैंक यू। ओम
थैंक
शांति।
यू। शांति। Let's create some time for experience first. And to come into the experience, we just need the best sight, best sight sees all that is invisible. The best sight sees all that is not very obvious, Ordinarily, the whole world, the past, present, future, is seen as something very real, something that is very important, significant. Sometimes it is even seen as a threat. Okay, we will continue with the experience. There is some technology issue, we're fixing it. But in the meanwhile, that what is not very obvious is that this whole world of sounds and images, it is totally out of our control. When we say our control, it is the audience that we are referring to. It is the audience that is not an actor in the film, but they are watching the play of sound, images, colors, matter. And all of this together becomes an unlimited video. Even for 1 minute, if we are not aware that this is a video, Ravan tends to take over. Ravan, which is our own weakness, our own, it is the ignorance of the invisible audience that takes over. What happens when ignorance takes over? It is self created pain, self created problems. These are experiences that are painful, that create discomfort, and these experiences are not needed at all. So the invisible audience has the option to remain an audience forever. This time, any anything that comes up in the unlimited video, including the rule that this invisible audience is associated with, it is completely part of the film. We are not making this up, but every role is is part of the film. Even right now, Nanya speaking is not full consciousness, speaking words of knowledge, it's not soul consciousness. when the silent, invisible audience is not framing, it's not burdened by anything of Ananya, then the soul, audience, the invisible entity is conscious. So, when the when this reference point is very clear, then separation from the whole film, the whole drama is effortless. Just having the right reference points, knowing the right step, the right signs of soul consciousness, and signs of Ravan consciousness. Just knowing this makes the whole effort simple, free from confusion. So, thank you. Thank you for the patience as well. Thank you. We are having some, you know, last session as well, some issues. So thank you for the patience. It is a test, Monday and Friday test. It is time for test. So yeah, anyone else wants to, anybody wants to speak, wants to share anything? I know we had a sharing at the beginning, but if there are more thoughts. No, Pranali, do you want to share? Are you?
Yeah, I would just like to say that I was practicing, primary world and secondary world, the drama world being the secondary world. So for that moment, I was able to be, carefree, that as this is the movie world, this is the secondary world, I don't have to worry about the thing. So I'm just practicing, for like I should be able to experience this more and more time, and not just for like for the time being for drill. So yeah, it was nice. The experience was amazing. Knowing that this is my secondary world. Thank you.
Yes, this is, yeah, this shifts a lot of things, knowing that it is secondary world. Secondary world means that it is not our world. It's like a guest house. We are very, very grateful for all the things that we get to use. But these are things to be used, including the body, including the role. It is just given by the guest house, by the secondary world to use. And once it is used, we, even while using it, there is the understanding that it belongs to the guest house, and everything belongs to the guest house, even the body and also the role, and the whole script belongs to the guest house. So we will read a few um, passages, maybe two passages of this Murli of 9th of December 1970. Two passages. Interesting subject of catching power. Um, and catching power is referred as the main basis of effort. It is the base of effort, catching power. So we will have a chance to understand what this means. Catching power, the main basis of our effort. We will have more, discussion on this. So today, Bab Dada is seeing two things in each of you. To what extent to what extent each of you has become knowledgeable. It must be knowledgeable. Right now it is knowledge. But to what extent each of you has become knowledgeful and powerful. Okay. Full was written in the next sentence. So knowledgeful and powerful. In this, Baba is also seeing how powerful the catching power of each of you is. The main basis of effort is catching power. Nowadays, scientists try to catch sound, but what is it that all of you catch with the power of silence? Silence means, what is silence? What does silence mean? Power of silence. Anyone?
Experiencing no
Going
sense
beyond
of drama.
Mhm. Going beyond the drama. Yes. Anything else?
being truth.
Silence means when there is no false identity, it is silence. There are thoughts, there are feelings of many other feelings, feelings of truth once you are connected to truth. So there are all the feelings, there can be thoughts, more thoughts, but silence, power of silence means that there is no false identity. Opposite of silence is noise, and noise is only from false identities, false identification. So, what is it that all of you catch with the power of silence? What do we catch with the power of silence? Just as they try to catch the sound of a time from the past, in the same way, what is it that you catch? What is it that you catch in the power of silence? Yes.
2% of joy.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, our
freedom
Mhm.
at all levels.
Mm. When there is power of silence, it means there is freedom. Yeah. And after that freedom, what do you want to catch? So when there is no false identity, even for 1 minute, if there are no false identities, then it means there is joy, there is all the all the there is divinity, the nature of the soul. And so staying in that power of silence, what do we catch? So it is we catch the natural nature of the soul. So we experience it because of freedom, because of silence. We experience it, and to experience it so accurately that it becomes normal, that we are trying to catch those sanskars so that they just become normal. We are not just touching it. We, for 1 minute, we just touch those sanskars. But if you catch it, it is up to you to keep it with you or throw it away. So we are catching the divine sanskars of 5,000 years ago. Can you catch your divine sanskars of 5,000 years ago? Have you imbibed that much catching power? Those people are able to catch the sound of others, but you not only catch your original sanskars, but you can also create your own practical form. Always keep in your consciousness that you were that and that you are now once again becoming that. The more you are able to catch those sanskars, the more you will be able to become that form. Make your consciousness powerful, that is, make it elevated and clear. Just as you have a clear experience of your present form and your present sanskars. So, present form, present sanskars, this is of the role. Present form, present sanskars. So, it is very clear. We have a clear experience of it. When there is a clear experience, we cannot separate. No, we feel that I am the role because there is a clear experience of this role, this form, and the sanskars in a very clear and practical way, in a natural way. So it is as if we forget that there is a difference. So in the same way, you should clearly experience your original form and sanskars. This is not original, this is artificial. So artificial has become very clear. It has become very normal. And now we have to go beyond the artificial and go beyond the role to make the original form and sanskars normal. So we want to catch the original sanskars, which are the sanskars of fullness, divinity, no lack, no beggar. For this, you need power of silence. With power of silence, there is better catching power. As we shrink Ravan, there is better catching power. Till Ravan is not made zero, we cannot catch anything of the soul. Till Ravan is there in front, it blocks us. It blocks the intellect from the catching the fullness, the alokik dimension. We cannot see, we cannot go into the alokik dimension. So Ravan has to be made zero to to catch the environment of alokik, unearthly environment. Power of silence and catching power. So do you understand? You need catching power to that extent. Just as at present you have your activity and your task clearly in your consciousness. In the same way, your original activity should clearly and easily be in your consciousness. So activity of the role, task of the role is so clear in our consciousness that we feel, we think, I have to do this, I have to do that. No? So it is very clear. But just we have to, Baba is showing how much the the perspective has to completely turn around. It is not just a little bit, but a complete turnaround of the perspective, of the whole personality. So at present, the activity of role, the task of the role is very clear in the consciousness, and it has to be completely shifted to make the activity and the task of the soul in our consciousness. So always have the determined thought that that's what you were. Something of 5,000 years ago should be experienced as clearly as though it is a matter of yesterday. This is called catching power. You must make your consciousness that elevated and clear before you leave here. You have come to a bhatti, have you not? You should constantly be able to see your original form and original sanskars in front of you. By making your consciousness powerful, your attitude and vision will automatically become powerful. So now Baba is meeting a group of Kumars. Whatever weakness now remains, remove that and become an embodiment of experience before you return. So now make sure that no weakness remains. You must bring about such a transformation from this bhatti, just as when golden aged souls incarnate, they do not have the slightest knowledge of this effort making life. In the same way, you should be able to merge within yourself the knowledge of weaknesses and defects. For that, this group especially has to remember two things: to remove all weaknesses, to remember two things. These two things are included in two expressions. So, who wants to know the two things to remove all weaknesses? Anyone wants to know?
Yeah, detachment and practice.
Yeah, very, very nice, very close. So, remember two things, two expressions. One is to consider this old world to be a guest house, and the second is get out. That is, throw it out and don't allow it to re-enter in the future. Then you will never have any experience of weaknesses or defects. So, guest house, it is a guest house, the old world, and any weakness that I have, the perspective is to, you know, for that weakness to throw it out, completely throw that head of Ravan, completely throw that weakness. To throw any head of Ravan, first we need to know that it is there. To get rid of a weakness, we need to become aware that it is there. And then after becoming aware, after knowing fully, acknowledging that weakness, effort is not to have yoga with that weakness, not to have, not to hold on to that weakness. not to keep thinking about it, because as we keep thinking about it, my weakness, the more we use my, it is mine, and why is it still there? All of this feeds that weakness, gives it more power. Anything that we are trying to get rid of, if we keep thinking of it, then that thing has already, it has already conquered our mind. So that has become more powerful. So we acknowledge this is the weakness. We acknowledge this is the head of Ravan, and the perspective towards it, it is Ravan's. No, it is some sort of ignorance, some sort of there is not full light here, and now we bring full light here. We create more experience, more bring more light in here. Example, there is a weakness of mm, any example, any example of a weakness.
Not getting up early.
Yes,
For example, not practicing enough.
yes.
I do work perfectly. This makes ego more strong.
We have to know the weakness. Not getting up early is not the weakness. Eating a lot is not the weakness. You have to know the weakness to remove it. So what is the weakness? If we take
Leth-
this two examples.
Lethargy.
Yeah.
Not taking drama as a drama is a weakness.
That is the root
Me
of
and
all
mine.
the weaknesses. That is the
Me
root
and
of
mine.
आलस्य and
Uncontrollable
available.
fear.
Old
दीदी
संस्कार.
आलस्य and available.
Fear.
Old संस्कार.
It's me
Not
and
taking
mine.
interest, not taking interest to the real world.
Mm. It is a symptom. It is not a weakness. It is a weakness, but it is more like a symptom of the main weakness. So we have to know the weakness. What is it? What is it that is actually the head of Ravan is, where the head of Ravan is actually. So in terms of not waking up early, or um, what was the other one? Not something else. Just
Some
any.
people have written um, LSL Velapan,
Mhm.
attachment, body consciousness. This is come up on the chat.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. These are, again, it is the seed. The seed of all weaknesses is body consciousness and attachment. Weakness is that head of Ravan wants, if it's to do with food, more interest in food. That head of Ravan wants some variety, something. So to know that there is, this is the head, um, the not waking up early means that head of Ravan is, even during the day, it is not using time, in a way that it should be used, time in the best way. And when there is, time is just that head during the day it is busy in other things, and so when it is morning, then that head is it is not supporting, it is not cooperating with the determined thought to wake up early, to stay up early, because that head has already been fed during the day. It has been given so much that it will not, cooperate, and it sort of it is so big that that head runs the show. So to get rid of any weakness, first we have to start bringing in more light now. If the weakness is with some food, with not waking up early, something that we can see at a far distance, light is brought now, right now. Light is brought in the next 3 hours. There is a plan for the next 3 hours to create more light. And as we create more light, we see that the film is a film. We see it as a guest house. We are not claiming things here for the next 3 hours. Nothing, I am not seeing anyone or anybody as mine. I'm not thinking anybody has to understand me. They have to, support me. They have to like me. They have to cooperate with me. No expectations. No, next 3 hours we experiment with it. As we do it, the weakness, the head of Ravan that we see as a weakness, that gets shrinked. It reduces in size, it reduces in intensity, maybe just a little bit, maybe not, not a big change, but even just a little bit, by having some, having focus, taking charge of using time in a better way for the next 3 hours, it will have results on that. So there is a portion of that head that has been, it is like thrown out. As we continue, that head reduces in size, it is then completely thrown out. So guest house, guest house means so many, it has so many aspects. Guest house means not expecting anything. Guest house means not controlling anything. Guest house means not considering anything to be mine. Guest house means knowing that things are out of control. I am only a guest, I'm not the host. And it does a lot of things for us. It brings, first thing it does is it brings full light. So guest house, and automatically the weakness that is thrown out. And then don't allow it to re-enter. Don't allow it to enter again. That is more important. Then you will never have any experience of weaknesses or defects. This is easy effort, is it not? This group has to show wonders. So this is to create wonders, guest house, and for weakness to get out. It is for Ravan. So for darkness, light, if there is light. So creating this attitude towards our whole surrounding, that it is a guest house, this creates light in the mind. It creates spiritual power in the mind, and that spiritual power removes darkness. So automatically darkness is, it is like saying to darkness, get out. So this is silence, power of silence, and catching power. So any thoughts?
Sister, someone's, I think, asking to repeat the last sentence or last two sentences.
Yeah, we will share the recording. There will be the last. It will be there in the recording. Any questions? Mm-hmm.
There was a question when you were reading the Murli at the start. Why is detachment from the outer drama relatively easy, but detachment from the roles, deeply rooted sanskars and mindsets so difficult and confusing?
Yes. Yes, it is. We can say that it is more, as you said correctly, that it is more deep roots, deeply rooted. So it is so deep and sort of become more used, more it is become natural. So that is why it is difficult. But we see that the whole perspective towards what we are calling as um, our own deep-rooted sanskars is that it is ignorance. It is not just saying that it is a sanskar, um, you know, habit, very strong habit. But how is the habit created? Habit is created um, because of being confused, because of the not having the right attitude. And any habit to change, for any habit to change, it is a deep habit, it is a very natural habit. But for any habit to change, we have to start somewhere. We can go on about discussing how difficult it is or how deep it is, but if we want to change it, we just have to start the practice. We have to start the process. And as soon as we start, even the first time or 1 minute that we play with this perspective of guest house, we will immediately see that the divine sanskars, the easy nature of the soul that comes comes in the forefront for 1 minute. That becomes natural for 1 minute. It may not be natural for 1 hour, but it becomes natural for 1 minute. That in itself is a big success. That in itself is a big win of truth. So repeating that, creating those similar experiences again, using that perspective more. It is guest house, it is not mine. Soon the right perspective, the right habits become natural.
Rashmi ji, you were trying to ask something?
Yeah, on the similar grounds about weakness and role, it is answered.
There is one more question, which is maybe how is, what was the question? Just a minute. Yeah, how being punctual is related to guest house. Does it mean that um, how to create this habit of being punctual while being in the guest house? Is that the question?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, how to be punctual. Yeah. Guest house, if you have been to your guest's place, if you've been to someone's place as a guest, then it doesn't mean that we, stop doing everything that is right just because it's a guest house. In fact, we try and do more things right that we might not be doing at our own house. We might not be washing, few things at our house immediately, But when we are at a guest house, if something falls somewhere on the floor or something, we want to immediately clean it. So this perspective, if you've actually been to a house, if you've actually been to someone else's place as a guest, every guest wants to be a good guest. Every guest wants that we leave as we leave the house as as the house was when we entered. You know, we don't want to damage things. We don't want to damage the property. Not because we want to earn more money or get some points, but we want to do it because it is not my place. It is not my house. It belongs to someone else. And every guest wants to be a good guest. No? If they know they are here only for 2-3 days, then they try and uh, help as much as possible. They try and do all the right things. So being punctual, being on time, that is also a nature of a guest. And here we are not just thinking about guests in the physical world. Taking this perspective that it is a guest house actually emerges the true nature of the soul. And the true nature of the soul is of goodness. All the good things that we can think of, they are naturally the nature of the soul. So we are not saying that you are just we are not thinking of some physical world examples. But here, if we play with this idea that it is a guest house, it is the soul who becomes conscious. And when the soul is conscious, it is not that soul will be careless and think that this is a guest house. The soul doesn't have the sanskar of being careless. Original sanskar of the soul is to be punctual, to be active, to be to value time, to not waste time. This is all the nature of the soul. So all of that emerges when uh, we approach the whole world as a guest house.
Sister,
Yes.
Om Santi. Om Santi. We can introduce it as really an antidote to various problems, ills. That if you are surrounded by many tensions, worries, anxieties, then come to the concept of guest house. Guest
Yeah.
house is a model that can be replicated everywhere, anywhere. Right,
Yes.
sister?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sister, in many classes of yours, you have mentioned that Paras Buddhi is the tool used to awaken the soul. In one of your old classes, I heard that mind is also part of drama. So the mind can also be directed to awaken the soul. So now when the mind is not cooperating, how is it possible to cut off the mind?
Cut off means from the what we heard now, the in the Murli.
This now it is not a friend; it is like an enemy, supporting the weakness and not working in like a cooperating thing. So what can be done?
Yeah. Because the mind is neutral. That is why it is said it can be the best friend or the worst enemy, because it is about who is using the mind. If the mind is used by our own weakness, our own heads of Ravan, then it is the worst enemy. Mind will not cooperate with anything of truth. And that is the position how each one starts. Everyone starts at that level. But even then, there is some, as we use the divine intellect, for 1 minute, the mind cooperates with truth, by playing with these thoughts. And repeating that, it will come out of the use of Ravan. if we don't create any thoughts of truth, then mind is used by Ravan more. But as we make it, as we try and pull the mind and use it, the truth uses the mind, the invisible audience uses the mind, then slowly Ravan's grip on the mind is loosened, becomes weak.
From the discussion on today's Murli, the catching power. So this is like the main basis of our efforts. So this can be understood as experience, power to experience, basically, because everywhere it is like, you should clearly experience your original sanskars and forms. So I mean, sorry, catch your original sanskars and forms. So that means experience. Is
Yes,
it?
yes. With the experience, it some implies, sometimes when we use the word experience, we use it that create 1 minute of experience, and we use it with the understanding that after that Ravan takes over. After some time, Ravan takes over, and different experiences take over. But when we say catching power, it is more about making the experience of truth permanent. With that meaning it is used. Catching power means you catch something and then you don't let go of it. So with that meaning, it is like more natural experience, an experience that you don't sometimes Ravan, sometimes truth. You're not playing, you're not dangling, you know, up and down, but you stay.
So it's like when you are coming into experience again and again, again and again, then basically this word catching power comes into place, while because it may be that when you're practicing, so you are experiencing, then you are losing it, then again you are getting it, but it becomes like a natural thing for you and it stays for you. For that, the basis is multiple experiences only,
Yes,
accumulating those experiences.
yes, yes. Yes, intellect is like intellect is always said to be like a hand, and so hand will have a strong grip on that alokik reality. And so if the hand has a strong grip, it is like, you've catching power, because the intellect needs to be strong to catch that alokik dimension. And how to do that? Yeah, multiple experiences. And one thing that was underlined was power of silence, making Ravan small multiple times, and making that a priority, making that very important for our individual, in our individual journey, to make our own self-created demon strong, to make it, make that self-created demon to lose its grip, to make it, shrink in size, and eventually make it zero, to make that a priority, to make power of silence strong. That is also necessary, underlined for that catching power.
So
And we
catch
can say, yeah.
so catch power is like the aim, no? It is actually like an aim, that because it's like you catch a ball and then you do not let, so you are practicing of catching a ball, let's say, and so many a times it will just fall off, but by repeatedly doing it there will be time when you'll be able to grip it. So then at that time we say that you did a catch. I mean, now it is not going away. So
Yes,
you've got hold of it now. So now it is not easily going.
yeah,
Um, right? And
yes.
what is it that have heard earlier, that catching power, which generally Brahmins use, कि कैच हो जाता है कि आगे क्या होना है, या बाबा ने बोला कुछ कैच हो गया, वो दैट इज नॉट दिस, राइट? दैट इज लाइक सेल्फ मेड थिंग्स देन.
We cannot guarantee it if it is self-made or not, but yeah, catching power is used in the Murli. It is used for catching, having a grip on the original and eternal home, original and eternal family, original and eternal self. Yeah. So yes.
Just one small question. You just mentioned about using time best, like during the day. So can you just elaborate? Like, does it mean to create more moments of truth?
Yes. Yes. And also shrinking Ravan.
Okay.
Once we start the process of shrinking the self-created demon, we will have more and more. The list will only increase, of the list of cautions, and you will find more areas where you feel that, earlier you may have a different approach, but the approach will change. So we will see more areas where this can be done better. Yes, Kavita Ben.
Didi, in other words, we can say that the catching power is only possible when your intellect is clean and clear. That is, as discussed, it will be Paras intellect only, because as you go on practice, it will become strong. And as you expressed, like Baba says, like buddhi ka hath, like intellect's hand. So the strong grip, in the sense, the strong intellect, Paras intellect, when it is strong, because when we say Paras intellect, there is no false identities, and we are beyond drama, and there is power of silence. Then it is possible to catch the directions, or whatever, like normally everyone says, like uh, when you have a clean and clear intellect, you can catch what Baba is telling you to do, or whatever, like the word is used. So yeah.
Yes. Baba has already told us everything, whatever it is in his heart to tell the children. It is all already been said. And it is not just given as a signal that you have to try and catch, but it has been so clear, and it has been made so obvious, multiple repetitions. So after this, there is no requirement of signal, any other signal from Baba. But yes, when there are some in the drama, there may be some decisions to be made, and in those sort of decisions, we we don't say that Baba gives an answer, but because of having no uh, false identity, or winning over those false identities easily, there is clarity on what to do, even at the level of drama. And because there is clarity on the Srimad, because there is clarity on what is in the heart of God. It is then, because of that, what needs to be done, even at there may be a decision to be taken to buy a property or sell a property. And we are also seeing that it may not be looking like there is enough time for it. So there is this sort of decision to be made. And the intellect is clear, false identities are not ruling the mind, then someone doesn't even need to think more than 1 second. No, it is only because of false identities that so many things have to be considered. But if the false identity is not there, if there is no attachment to the property, then the decision will be very clear. The Srimat is very clear. Srimat on time, Srimat on thoughts, Srimat on everything is very clear. It is just a matter of being able to implement it.
Yeah, so at drama level, बाबा means that कि अंत में जब ऐसा समय आएगा कि आपकी बुद्धि जो है clean और clear रहेगी, like Baba uses those two terms. If you're wiseless, then you're like wherever you are, you can connect like wireless set के जैसा काम करेगा. So that is at the drama level only.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
So we will just create 1 minute of coming in light, holding the highest perspective. Highest perspective is that on one side there is the invisible eternal celebration. On the other side there is a film. The points who are in the eternal celebration, they are celebrating each other. They are celebrating the truth of everyone. They are celebrating how lucky the star is, how great this personality is. There is greatness in everyone. All are great, all are lucky. They are celebrating because they are absolutely in full conviction that this is the truth of everyone. God is the friend. He is the one who celebrates this truth. The point, the star goes into the film while being in that celebration, knowing that the whole film is temporary. It can end anytime. And the whole film is harmless. The star cannot be harmed by anything of that film. So now he has a very clear task. His activity is very clear: to watch the film and not be drawn into the film, to know that his entire family is eternal, immortal, and to keep this as the main thing. Thank you.